Hello and welcome everyone to today's session on invoking the Lady Luck within. And today we are going to see um, how, this luck factor that we all want to have within us, right? We all have heard about Lady Luck, how that brings good fortune for all of us. And we believe that so much. And it also gives us a feeling of an elevated feeling, right? When we actually feel um, so worthy of feeling that success when we feel lucky, right? It's a very important feeling for all of us. And to take us through today's topic and talk, we have a very special guest all the way from Romania in Europe. Um, Welcome, Sister Ioana from Romania. And maybe a little bit of brief introduction from you, Sister.
Sure. Hello, welcome. Very nice to be here. It feels a little bit like I am in New York. Many years ago, I visited Boston, but I haven't been to Manhattan or to Peace Village. So, yes, what can I say? Living in Cambridge at the moment, originally from Romania, and practicing Raja Yoga meditation for maybe 10 years now, and met Sister Kanupriya in Bangalore in 2017, which was a wonderful occasion to meet Kanupriya and also to visit Bangalore. So I'm happy now to be with you, with all of you, and share on this beautiful subject, Lady Luck, invoking our Lady Luck.
Yes, thank you for your introduction. And just for a short introduction about Kanupriya, this is, I'm joining from Peace Village, Learning and Retreat Center of the Brahma Kumaris up in the Catskill Mountains. And I want to also uh, give a word of appreciation and support for the Manhattan Meditation Center, who's also supporting this program. So, all right, Sister Ioana, would you like to share some thoughts on this topic of invoking the Lady Luck within?
Sure. Can you hear me well? It would be nice to get some signal from you. I understand the music. Yes, the music is not that easy for you to hear. So let's skip the song, the music. And what came to mind was an interesting study that was done some years ago, not that long ago, on happiness. And that study has been carried out in the United States by a professor from the Great Britain. And he was asked to research what are the causes for happiness, what makes us happy. And they asked people in the United States. And very interesting, the two answers they gave were money makes us happy and beauty makes us happy. Okay, they said, let's test that. They went to Wall Street, where are the richest people in the world, maybe amongst the richest people, and they asked them, are you happy? And they said, no, we are not happy at all. We are constantly concerned with what's happening with our money. When there is a fluctuation in the market, what are we going to do? We don't know who are our friends. We don't know who are with us because they like us or because of other reasons. We are not happy. Okay. Then they went to Hollywood, where are some of the most beautiful people. And they asked them, are you happy? They said, no, we are not happy. We are constantly looking for new opportunities. There are other younger actors who are coming from behind. We are getting old. We have new wrinkles. We can't eat what we like. We are not happy. So very interesting. When they tested what people taught, they realized that none of these are really making them happy. And the professor continued his research. He found different factors. He found factors such as a good character, social activity, and even a sense of humor being more associated with happiness. So being lucky is also associated with being happy. And just observing what is the current situation, what is it that we experience in today's world. And another very interesting study showing that at the end of the Second World War, people were happier than they were 10 years ago. So this study was about 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, but people were happier when the war finished than they were now. And now compare the level of fortune that they have in today's world, science and wealth and peace. But at the end of the war, people were just grateful and happy, and they were feeling lucky. So what makes us feel lucky? And if we are asking people today in United States or in Europe, are they going to say they are happy? Three factors came to mind, and it would be nice to discuss with you about these factors. One would be fitness, the other one would be family, and the third one would be fortune. Fitness, family, fortune. Wealthy, healthy, lovely. When all these three are together, we feel lucky. And someone was telling me recently, when we discussed about being fortunate, she said, well, at the present moment and last year, if you ask anyone, do you feel lucky or fortunate? They would say, do you know what they would say? In 2020, what would they say? What do you think, Anupriya?
I'm reading all the interesting comments we are getting. So, yeah, very very nicely described, Sister Joanna. And just requesting and encouraging the participants to type their comments, ask their questions on the chat box. Most welcome. We want to make it as interactive as possible. So somebody is saying we are lucky to survive the pandemic so far now, right?
That's what they said. Yes, that's what they said. When you asked them, are you lucky? They said, yes, we are. We have survived and we have good health. This is what they said. We are lucky because we are healthy. So health came on top of their factors associated with being lucky. Yes.
Yeah, and I have another comment. Before you ask this question, somebody commented that virtue leads to luck. Would you just want to clarify a little bit more, either now or later, whenever you would be comfortable?
Yes, let's speak about that, and let's speak about that connected to this factor of family. I feel that lots of us, many of us would feel that we are fortunate when we have a good family. People say that. They say, I have been lucky to have good children. I have been lucky to have a good partner. And that factor of family is very important for human beings. However, can we have a bigger picture? Can we see something that will give us a feeling of belonging no matter what? Can we change this good luck? Some people may say, well, my original family was not that great. And I would say, yes, we can change that when we look from the spiritual perspective. So if we can have a look at the first image that we have, then I would like to say we have the option to see a bigger picture. We have the option to see a larger family. When we speak about ourselves, we say we are human beings, and there is a side of us that is a human, and there is a side which is a being. And we all know the human side, and we also all know the human family. We can see it and we can relate to it. And the other aspect is that of the being. Is there a family of souls that we can connect to? And in the upper part, maybe Kanupriya can make the um, upper part a little bit bigger. Yes, if you zoom in a little bit, then we see a very simple diagram just to give us a hint that these two stars are a simple representation of our inner being. The inner being, the being of light, the true self. We can use many names for it. The name is not essential, but what is essential about it is the quality. And the quality of the being of light is very different from the quality of the human. The human is limited, is temporary, it is constantly changing, and it has an end. Whilst we understand that the true self, the being of light, belongs to the unlimited, it is invisible, we can't see it, it is subtle, and it is eternal. And I would like to say that understanding or contemplating this aspect of eternity about us will make us very lucky. If you are given the news that you know you're never going to die, you are eternal. You cannot die, you cannot be cut, you cannot be made to disappear. You exist forever in a good sense, nothing to be negative about it. It is only benevolent. That will create a sense of being lucky. And it is not only me that I'm eternal, true self, being of light, but when I understand that about myself, I start to understand it about others. Everyone else is also eternal, which means everyone else is also secure. Those that I really care for and those that are outside in the world, they are all beings of light. They are all guests in this world. They are all, the real selves are all eternal. That creates a new feeling of belonging to a much larger family, a family of higher beings, a family of beings of peace, beings of benevolence, of love, of happiness. And these beings are always safe. That is a beautiful feeling of belonging. And I would say that feeling of belonging is irrespective of anything that happens in the physical world or in the family as we know it. We can step up. Yes, we look after everything here, including the family, but we can start to feel that we belong to this family of eternal beings, beings of light, a family that includes everyone. Everyone is included, everyone is lucky. It would be nice to hear from you. What would you say, Kanupriya?
Yes, very nicely explained, Sister Joanna. And just wondering, what is it that really makes us feel unlucky, right? If we are all the beautiful things that you just mentioned, we are beings of light, we are eternal and free and guests and secure and safe, then what is it really that is making us feel unlucky? Because that is something that is so real for us today. We are putting in so much effort in so many things, whether it is our relationships, whether it is our health. We are doing so many things, in the three aspects that you mentioned. Fitness, we are doing so much, right, to keep the body healthy. So we are going to exercises, we are going for some kind of rejuvenation, we are going to keep doing so many things to make the appearance look better, and so on and so forth, right? And The second aspect you mentioned, relationships, we are putting in so much to make our relationships better, right? And fortune also in wealth, right? We are doing so much for our jobs. We are more than half the time, for those of us who are working, so much time we are spending in working. And why are we doing that? Yeah, we are doing that. I mean, it's always good to have this feeling of being lucky with all the efforts that we are putting, right? But somewhere we are not feeling the way that you just explained, sister. So could you also, I see that there is another part of this image that we are displaying, and I see a life of attachments. Is that the reason for feeling unlucky? And if you could elaborate on that, it will be helpful for all of us.
Yes, very true, very clear. Attachments are a little bit like an unseen illness of our society as we know it right now. And everyone right now is busy in creating more attachments, as if we do not know the consequences of these attachments. And maybe some of us are innocently creating more attachments, possessions, more into relationships. But the attachment is not innocent. The attachment is leading to dependency. And dependency means that our well being depends on someone else or something else. And you can see in that image so many things that have become right now important for my well-being. And someone was telling me recently, she said, well, I want to be attached to my cup of coffee. It's very good to have a cup of coffee. And we said, yes, of course it is. That is not the problem. But if the cup of coffee is not there at that time, will you feel that your well-being is not as good as you want it to be? Will you feel less, or will your mood change? So dependency on objects, dependency on nature. Someone was telling me, well, if there is no sunshine outside, I cannot enjoy. I cannot enjoy the day. Dependency on other people. Now, attachments are almost like something that we take as normal in our society. And we would like to fully understand where is this coming from. And recently, you may know, but this speaker, Shivani, she's a very good speaker from Brahma Kumaris, Sister Shivani. I was listening to her, and she was saying about happiness. Where is this belief coming from? The belief that our happiness should depend on something external. And we all actually are not fully aware that we are postponing our happiness until something will be available. For instance, I am waiting for the house to be ready to be happy, and someone is waiting until the children. Someone was telling me recently that at the end of this year, when the children will graduate, then she will be happy. And we are happy when we go on a holiday. It is like postponing happiness when certain things in the outer world are available. And even more than that, conditioning happiness with, if that project will end up perfectly and I will get a promotion, then I will be happy. Things are not happening in a perfect way around us. If the husband will behave in a perfect way, I will be happy. If my friend will have good manners, I will be happy. All that conditions that we put, and we also condition ourselves. When Joanna will behave in a nice way, I will be happy. We are not perfect, and to expect from ourselves to be perfect in order to be happy, it's a condition for sorrow. it is guaranteed that we're going to take sorrow. So Shivani, Sister Shivani was just saying, where is this belief coming from? Why do we have this belief? Because it's not natural to us. The being is happiness. Why did we create this belief that we should depend on everything in the outer world to be happy? Now it is about the same about luck. Have we created beliefs where we think that our luck depends on someone else or something else? I'm not lucky because of someone else. I'm not lucky because there is a pandemic. I'm not lucky because there is something happening with a job. And the same with another belief, this is what I wanted to challenge, the beliefs that attachments are good. We would like to inquire about that, because right now in the society, attachment has become a big, big danger for the development of our highest potential. And that is because everyone considers natural to be attached, and everyone is busy to create more attachments. And attachments are only a source of dependency and of stagnation. And I remember what Daddy Janki was head of Brahma Kumaris for many years until last year. And Daddy was saying there are 3 big risks for the human consciousness: influence, control, and dependency and attachment. Out of these 3, which one do you think is the biggest one, biggest danger for reaching our highest potential? Being influenced, being under control, and attachment. Which one? It would be nice to hear from you if you would like to type in the chat. Influence, all 3, okay. Influence, control, or attachment. What do you think, Anupriya?
I think you already gave the answer, sister.
Okay.
In all your explanations till now. But I also feel that one common thread that you have been talking about, this feeling of being lucky is directly related to the feeling of happiness, right? And feeling of happiness is so important for all of us. And how do we really define feeling lucky? There is a very nice comment which I was actually wanting to read. We are defining our luck or being unlucky, uh, really is stemming from that expectations of ourselves and our relationships or other objects that you were mentioning as well, where we have attachments, and if our expectation is fulfilled, then we feel lucky. If things are not happening our way, then we feel unlucky, right? And that is the equation, that here in the comment it says achievements is equal to being lucky, feeling lucky. But achievements or success, right? If we are successful in what we set out to do with our aim, and the goal that we set out, we start to feel lucky. But this amazing feeling of feeling lucky, not based on these objects and the relationships and other things that you mentioned, how do we really come out of that feeling and really feel lucky all the time? That will be such a wonderful feeling that you were describing right at the beginning.
Agreed. Yes. Lucky means what you said is very nice. Also, lucky means free. So when we speak about a life of attachment, we speak about a life being being trapped in a web of dependencies. And that is not the highest quality of life that we can have. And as we said, influence, control, attachment, it is attachment. Davide was saying it is attachment that is the biggest danger for reaching our highest potential, because it is unseen. People in the current human society sooner or later will realize that influence is not good for me. To be controlled or to control others is not good for me. But attachments, they do not realize the extent to which attachment is damaging the, the higher consciousness. And Daddy used to say that a life of attachments is like deceiving ourselves. It's a life of deception. We believe we have a good quality of life when we are actually walking in crutches. It's like my mind is crippled. So Daddy was very, very serious about drawing our attention to the fact that if we will start to observe even a little bit the attachments that we have created so far in our lives, and if we can start to maybe contemplate on not creating new attachments, let's start with that. Observe the attachments and create from today less attachments. Then what we are getting is freedom. And when we are free, we are very lucky. We are free to experience that higher consciousness. We are free to belong to a larger family of uh, higher beings of light. A whole new world opens up for us when we start to free ourselves from this web. An animal that is caught into a trap is not lucky. At the present moment, human beings are trapped in this life of attachments. That is not being lucky. As soon as we will be able to observe our attachments, start to reduce them and not create new attachments, we will be able to experience that we are much luckier. Magic will happen in our lives. And I'll give you an example. A few years ago in Romania, we were in a retreat, Brahma Kumari's retreat, and that was a very nice opportunity to speak with new people. Someone came, a man, and he participated on the retreat. He came to myself and the main teacher, Prashant Bai from Cambridge, and he said, "Look, I understand what you are saying, and I'm having a business, and I'm having big difficulties with paying my debts to the bank, and I'm in a very difficult situation right now. What should I do?" And Prashant, the main teacher, just listened. He thought for a second and he said, "Well, just become a little bit more detached." And that was a very short answer for what seemed to be a big problem. The man said, "Okay, I'll think about it." They came back after 5 minutes with his wife, and they came and they said, "No," they said, "you don't understand. We really have big problems here. The bank will gonna take our money and house and business and whatever." Prashant again thought for a while and he said, "Well, it is good if you can step back a little bit, observe the situation, and become more detached." That was all. After 1 year, I go back and I meet again this couple and the man. And he said, "Do you know what? Magic has happened. You won't believe it. I did detach from everything that was in my business." I said, "Okay, I'm going to step back and observe it, and I'm not going to think about it." And he said in his words, "Magic has happened. People who were owning me money started to come to give me the money. I was able to pay back the bank. I was able to pay the people that I was owning them, and now I'm fine." And he said in his words, "That is because I was able to step back and to detach."
Wow, isn't it amazing magic? Yeah, so thank you, sister. And there is another thing that was coming up, that how, how can we, what are the methods that you would use to detach, right? Now we have understood that we detachment is a good thing, right? But uh, one of the methods that one of the participant here is suggesting that that is used can be used is I came alone with no physical things, and I will go alone with nothing except my lucky karma. So, this may be one of the methods, but are there any other methods that you could suggest in order to keep ourselves? You mentioned two very beautiful things. One is to be detached from the existing attachments, but also not to create new attachments, right? So, yeah, so for the existing ones, what do we do?
Yes, very good. Shall we look again for a few seconds at the first image? And on that image, again, on the upper side of it, we can see a few words that give us a hint. That few words are detached observer, guest, being of light. And coming back to our key factors for being lucky: fitness, family, fortune. Fitness, yes, like you said, Kanupriya said, fitness of the body, fitness of the mind as well. Investing in having a good mind, a happy mind, a peaceful mind, that will pay back tremendously. And this is where we can work at the level of the mind to change our sense of identity, to change our awareness, to change our consciousness in a very subtle and easy way. Raja Yoga is easy Raja Yoga. It is easy, it is quick, and it is effective. The method that we are applying, it's easy. Anyone can apply it from today. It is quick. It takes only a minute to apply it. And it is effective. We can see results in 2 weeks' time, guaranteed. We can meet again in 2 weeks' time, or you will meet with Kanupriya and you can tell. If we apply it every day, let's say 1 minute a day or 5 minutes a day, if we really want to see quick progress, 5 minutes a day of meditation, 5 minutes a day of reflection on the nature of the self, 5 minutes a day of self-contemplation, study, spiritual study. These 5 minutes will bring a huge reward. They will be a very, very good investment in our mental health. So when we do that, when we have that 5 minutes or even 1 minute, we use these words, guest or detached observer, and we go into the awareness of the guest. That is our meditation. We use one word that will describe the personality of the true self. And we go into the experience of that. That makes it easy because we all know what it means to be a guest. We enjoy being guests. And a guest feels lucky, isn't it? When you are invited somewhere, when you are visiting someone, you feel lucky. Everything is offered to you. You feel grateful. So going into the experience of how does a guest feel? How does an observer feel? What is the life of the being of light? That will create new thoughts. And our meditation, it's about creating new, positive, elevated, pure, noble thoughts. As we know our mind right now, we know it many, many, many times having negative thoughts. Would you agree with that? We all know that kind of thoughts that are taking us into a downward spiral. I don't have only one negative thought, I have another one and another one, and it is like a cyclical thinking that takes me lower into a lower consciousness. And together with thoughts, there will be negative emotions. That is a downward spiral. And we all experience negative emotions such as sadness or anxiety or panic. That is something that we would like to come out of it as quick as possible. And then we all would like to experience an upward spiral, a spiral that takes us into noble feelings, pure, benevolent feelings, such as peace, kindness, generosity, love, happiness. All of that are an upward spiral, and that we can achieve with meditation. Then, with being a guest, being a detached observer, it is very easy to drop the attachments. We make it easy instead of being attached to the physical world, which is temporary, changing, everything will have an end. We can be more interested or attached to the eternal matters, being interested in meditation, being interested in the beings of light, being interested in what is eternal. That will do the job in an easy way.
So I think, sister, it is a very good time for us to go into meditation. What do you think? Can you please guide us into the
Sure.
meditation? Yes.
So, making sure the body is feeling comfortable and relaxed, keeping the back straight, the head is held high. You can keep the eyes open if you wish. I will speak a few words that guide our thoughts. Do not expect fireworks. It is a journey with gentleness towards the inner being, the being of light. I connect with a point of positive energy situated inside the body, behind the forehead, in the middle of the two eyes. As I go deeper into the journey, I reach a point where there is a feeling of stillness, a feeling of being in silence. I connect with a treasure that exists within. My inner world becomes calmer. There are fewer thoughts. I choose a thought of peace. Peace is my true nature. This is the original state of the being. Peace is familiar to me. This is who I am and what I want to be. In peace, there is security. In peace, I know I am okay and I will be okay. In peace, there is kindness. In peace, there is unconditional love. Love is the true nature of the being. In peace and kindness, I realize my truth. My true nature is one of peace. What was negative was temporary, and it will finish. I understand that I'm the author of my happiness. When I was looking for happiness in the outer world, that was coming and going. Now I know I'm the creator of the happiness. Vibrations of peace, love, and happiness are spreading out into the body, reaching out to family, to friends, reaching out into the world. The inner being is a subtle presence. The inner being belongs to a world of peace. As I tap into this peace, a world of silence and the world of stillness becomes more obvious. It becomes real. The being of light, the true self, belongs to this world of light, a world that is eternal, a world that has no beginning and no end. The true self is eternal. Here there is a family of beings of light. All are safe, all are eternal, all belong here. All are beings of peace. All are beings of kindness and love. All are lucky. Everyone here is lucky. Feelings of being wonderful, being lovely and loving. These feelings of being wonderful, being lovely, worthy. We can return attention is again to the physical surroundings, to the body. We return with the awareness of being a guest. As a guest, I know there is a longer journey. The guest does not create attachments. The guest is grateful and feels lucky. Thank you.
Thank you for a very, very beautiful meditation which connected all of us to that lucky being of light. Thank you. And so maybe we can move on to the next segment of our talk. Um, is that a good time, Joanna?
Yeah, sure. It would be nice to hear from you, Kanupriya, then.
Sure. So I was just thinking about, you mentioned freedom, right? Freedom and being successful um, in, in whatever we do, having that feeling that everything is actually good, is beneficial around us. I think, would you want to actually start with sharing the second image? Is this the good time?
Sure.
Yeah, so here, like we said, that lucky means to be full, right? Means that we experience being successful in a way in in everything that we do. We feel lucky when we are free to experience this success. And how do we really do that? Of course, detachment is the first step of doing that. And how can we be really truly detached? We are learning about it slowly, step by step. And like is mentioned, like you can see here, it's being knowledgeful, right? Knowledge, meaning spiritual knowledge, is a very important aspect of learning the methods to be detached. And once is knowledgeful, um, then one is able to connect to the true being, and not just in meditation like we just experienced with Joanna, but also in our daily activities, right? We could, if we were really knowledgeful, we could actually practice some of these methods with our eyes open while we are cooking, cleaning, dusting, whatever, doing our jobs, right? In every activity, we can actually slowly try to bring in these methods and practices, which helps us being detached and feel free. Once we are free, then we are free from all the things that are holding us back from feeling lucky. And we are able to actually come out of that whole feeling of being unlucky. And then what is left? We would just appreciate everything that is around us. um, we sometimes we classify as, some things as being good for us or bad for us in terms of um, the way they are happening, the situations around us, right? um, but if one were to be really free, and in that detached stage that Joanna has been emphasizing on, then really we could be feeling lucky in spite of whatever is happening in the external situations around us. Right. So that is something that I wanted to share. Maybe uh, Joanna would like to talk more about this aspect of feeling lucky and being full always.
Yes, it's very nice, very important part of putting some knowledge into practice, applying whatever we understood. If we apply it, it becomes our truth. If we just keep it in one file, it is an information. It will not gonna do the job. It will not going to make us lucky. So whatever we understood, even into tonight's talk discussion, well, it's today for you, but whatever we feel resonates with us, it is a good practice to start from today. Just create 1 minute of meditation that will take us into the upward spiral towards being lucky. And being careful as well. Being careful means to make sure that we are going less and less into that lower part that we were showing on the other diagram. So whenever we feel we are in that life of attachments, we are in that downward spiral, immediately have that careful attitude. I do care about the true self, and I want to come out of that immediately. Immediately means I can create that minute of meditation. I can create that minute of awareness. Use the word detached observer, being of light, or I'm a guest here, and immediately come above the line, come into that higher consciousness. And you were asking, what does it mean to have bad luck? I would say we invoke bad luck with 2 words. Do you know which are the 2 words? that we are using to invoke bad luck? We all want to know how to invoke good luck, but how do we invoke bad luck? Anyone would like to type in the chat? There can be many words. Two words that are invoking bad luck. What do you think, Anupriya?
I think me and mine.
Me and mine. Yes, definitely. Even more than that, give me. The moment we start to go into the awareness of give me some peace, give me some respect, give me some attention, give me some time, give me a place in the first row. We go to a meeting, and why we are not seated in the first row, why someone else is seated on my chair. We go to a discussion and no one is asking for our opinion. Give me my turn. When do I speak? I was recently in a gathering and everyone was speaking about uh, apart from one person. So when is my turn? When do I speak? Give me my turn. Give me my rights. Give me more attention. We call that in spiritual understanding, we can call that maybe a strong term, but it gives us a flavor. We can call it a beggar attitude. And a beggar is not lucky. So we remind ourselves. I can very easily remember when I go into that beggar attitude, give me, give me, give me, can be very subtle things. For instance, give me approval. I am here, and if someone doesn't agree with what I say, Sister Kanupriya is so kind, she constantly agrees with me. But let's say she will not going to agree with me. Then if you are asking for approval, I really want someone to say yes, yes. That is a subtle begging attitude. A beggar is not lucky. In that moment, I have crossed the line and I am invoking bad luck. And sooner or later, somehow that bad luck will come. It may be in small, small, small form, but it is like who has created that? So it would be nice to hear from you as well, maybe from Sister Kanupriya, about responsibility. So can we create our luck? Can we invoke our luck? Is the destiny is in my hands. The responsibility to create this good luck is in my hands. I'm fully responsible for that. Actually, I cannot blame anyone. I cannot say that it is a government, it is the weather, it is a pandemic, the pandemic that is making me feel unlucky. It is all in our hands. So that would be really nice if we can have that, put it into practice. What would be some steps to become more responsible? The destiny is in my hands. Good luck or bad luck is in my hands.
Yes, so I was thinking about this, this links directly to the beginning of the talk where you were mentioning about eternity, right? If one were to really understand deeply this aspect of eternity, of this true inner being that we have been talking about, and so cute on this picture, that the image that we are seeing, this inner being, uh, that doesn't have any shape form, so to say, right? And is beyond all kinds of gender and any kinds of um, negativities in a way, right? The more we are able to understand that he's really eternal, this living, conscient being, the inner being, then we are able to um, act in a way that supports creating that lucky destiny for ourselves. And somebody in the chat box was earlier was mentioning about lucky karma, right? And as we get deeper into spiritual knowledge, we are learning here that the highest or the most benevolent karma that we all can create for ourselves is to be in a consciousness of the truth, who we really are, right? This inner being of light who's a guest on this planet, a guest in this body, right? The more we are really able to hold that awareness, we will be able to feel lucky and full because this inner being doesn't need anything for its existence, right? He knows that he's eternal. There is no neediness from the external physical world. And somebody says that desires lead to bad luck. I think that is very true as well, because it is the expectations, desires that we have been creating with everything in the physical world. And then we start to feel unlucky, right? Because they may not be fulfilled all the time. So that is something that I was thinking. And the other aspects, sister, just looking at the time, if you would like to just quickly cover on the other aspects of how that fullness leads to feeling peaceful and careful and cheerful, also, it would be very helpful.
Yes. How much more time do we have?
Um, we can take maybe 5 more minutes. That's okay.
Including meditation or?
Um, we could probably, we may not have time for meditation.
Then let's, I can sum up in 1 minute and we can have some meditation conducting by you. That would be nice. So just to conclude, being full is being stable. A glass that is full will not be shaken, it will not fall apart. And being full is being in an awareness of abundance, understanding that our resources are unlimited. Peace within is unlimited. Joy and love and knowledge are unlimited. And how do we know that? We only going to know when we're going to use them. So to take that responsibility, like Kanupriya explained, to create our good luck, we have to start to use what we have inside. Use the patience that we have inside, use the kindness, use it from today. From today, I can create time when I thought I don't have any time. I can have patience when I thought there is no patience in me, and so on with each and every virtue that exists within. Whenever we do that, we realize that everything is in abundance within us. And the more we use it, the more it will grow and the more fortunate we will become. Our fortune, our spiritual fortune, only grows when we use it. So to become lucky, to invoke our luck, just see that we are eternal beings of light, connect with the divine, that is also being very lucky to be part of a family with God and be connected with the divinity, and use all the qualities, all the treasures that we have within. So it would be nice to have the final moments in a meditation conducted by Kanupriya Ben.
Sure. Before that, one, I think, last question that I think is good if we can answer, is that how can we maintain if this feeling of being lucky if somebody is putting us down intentionally constantly? Yeah, so very interesting question, right? Like was being mentioned before, that in spite of whatever may be happening in what we say a bad situation, also, how do we really maintain this feeling? Um, so some of the methods that Sister Joanna also described just now is to develop a practice, a routine, right? To meditation, for meditation, because in meditation we are able to sit down and really observe the feelings within, and also it's easier for us to go in inwards and connect to our truth, which is that of being lucky always, right? The more we remind ourselves that we are lucky beings of light, forever, constantly, permanently, right? For eternity, then we will be able to emerge or re-emerge those feelings when going is not good for us. Um, so that is that is one way to move forward with this. So let us just sit back and sit in a relaxed position and just be alert, um, with the back upright, and we just guide our mind to connect to that inner being, the being who knows of his existence beyond. He knows of his world beyond the physical, a world that makes him feel lucky always. This world is made up of beautiful golden red light. And in this world, one is able to feel full, full of all the fortune and treasures, the inner treasures that are subtle and invisible, treasures of peace and cheerfulness, joy and love. These subtle inner treasures make this inner being feel full and lucky forever. There is nothing that he needs from the physical when he feels full and lucky from this world beyond. No desires, no expectations from the physical world. It may be in the relationships, in the job that we have, the objects that are around us, whatever. No need, no dependency on anything in the physical. because he knows of his true reality beyond. And all he has to do is connect with this reality with his mind in a second. And we use this method to connect to the truth through the day. Thank you. So, thank you for joining today's talk, and we hope to see you all sometime soon. We will be continuing with the Thursday talks. Most of you have been attending that, the Thursday evening talks. Um, and have a happy weekend, whatever is left. And thank you to Sister Ioana for joining us all the way from Europe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kanupria, for the invitation. It was a great pleasure.